Day 11, meal number 7, rhymes. That's a good thing. So the soup is reduced now a little bit. We pulled 3 bowls out. Abby and Keely. There's Abby and there's Keely. We're having dinner. And so everyone's having the soup. We'll try to ignore these chips over here. Well, let's not ignore them. Let's look at the plain truth. Let's see. So serving size is 12 chips, and that is thanks, Abby. 2 grams of protein, 19 carbohydrates. It says 0 sugar, but that's a lot of carbs. It's a lot of carbs because it's corn. 6 grams of fat, 12 chips. That's about like a 1 point something on the carbohydrates. I'm going to pass on those. Are you guys having those?
No.
Okay. Tomato, pretty good choice. It is kind of a sugary thing. Turns to sugar much more slowly than a corn-based product. We have some guacamole here with some extra salsa in it. And it's not super green because it was in the refrigerator for a bit, but we have this amazing soup. Now, these guys are eating some of the potato, and looks like I have a potato skin. I said I was going to eat maybe a bite of a potato, so that's about the limit for me right there. It's like a tablespoon size, a piece of chicken. I added a lot of extra celery and kale and mushrooms. Mushrooms are awesome in terms of anti-inflammatory properties, and very nutrient-rich meal. Day 11, meal number 7. Now, I experimented today a little bit with reducing my portion sizes, and what that created was the need for me to eat more frequently. I became a little bit more hungry. Today was, I got to tell you, a super stressful day too. So, big dip in the stock market, big problems all the way around. I had to deal with a lot of issues today. I make a living in a few different ways. I teach Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. I'm a clinician, so I help people. I teach mindfulness-based stress reduction. I'm a trader in the stock market. I do something else. I can't remember what it is right now. But the stock market part of that equation today was a serious hiney kicking. I got to tell you, that if anything's going to trigger me to want to eat 3 large pizzas with a side of French fries, today would have been the day. Interestingly, 0 craving. Also, I'm holding up very well, even with the big, huge instability in terms of what occurred in the stock market. So I think the proof is in the pudding right there. I mean, I feel really good, amazingly good. How do you guys feel? Good. Abby had a strange but true fact a moment ago. What was that about King Louis the something?
Well, King Louis the 16th ate a 5,000 calorie breakfast.
5,000 calorie breakfast? You got to be kidding me. That's
every single day?
Yeah. Well, probably.
That's a huge amount of calories.
Meanwhile, the peasants were starving to death.
The peasants were starving. I wonder. We're gonna see. We're gonna add up and day by day, meal by meal, what the count is here in terms of calorie. I'm not mapping this out and counting calories or the way people go about things. We have just a simple plan. It's basically a caveman, cavewoman style plan. 2 big hands of anything like green spinach, kale.
Anything green? You mean mint chocolate chip ice cream?
Keely, good point. Not mint chocolate chip. That's green, but we're going to avoid that. So these nutrients, these big sort of 2 handfuls of kale and spinach and anything like that, anything that you can find in the outer edge of the store, is going to have a good glycemic index. It means it's going to turn to sugar more slowly. I know you've heard this now every day. How many times a day have you been listening to me say this? Good glycemic index over the super tasty sugary stuff that turns to sugar fast. It might taste good for a moment, doesn't give us energy for very long. So this soup is going to be very sustaining, and it's also hydrating because of the the broth in it, and I'm very interested in the power of the broth because of all the nutrients that are kind of brought together through the cooking process. So there we have it. Now, we did a little bit of exercise earlier today, right before this meal, and this is part of what we're including in the plan is working a little bit before we eat and getting into a cycle of work, making good choices about food, rest, and play. All right, so we got to play. What do you guys want to do in terms of playing? Maybe like dinosaurs? Like dinosaurs in the sand?
Yeah, we can play with the sand.
We're going to play with dinosaurs in the sand in the sandbox. Maybe we're going to play. All right, we'll find something. All right, seventh meal of the day. I may check back in with you later here. I do know this, that if I need something else to eat later in the day, I'm probably aiming for another bowl of the soup. The soup is doing very well in terms of its impact and effect on me. And the alternative to that would be, again, the quarter cup of nuts, and tonight maybe half a cup of yogurt. That's since I'm reducing my portion sizes. Have a terrific evening, and I'll look forward to seeing you either later or tomorrow on day 12.